0-2 after 2 matches played, and he's up against Tony Drago. Not the sort of player you want to be facing when you know you need a win, because Drago plays the game so fast. He can be so intimidating. Well, at the best of times, he's difficult to try and contend with.
Wins the lag.
But Andy, it's a match he's got to have.
Yeah, Tony's really up for this match. And if he can break like he did in the first match, he's going to be a handful.
First of 10 racks. Kuo to break.
And it's Kuo who's just won the lag. 10 racks to be played here in Warsaw. Round 3 action. Drago at 1-1. Kuo at 0-2. Andy, I was watching Kuo break earlier. He was hitting rack after rack after rack. And he's knocked one in off the break there. But as has been the case with his break so far, he just has not been able to control that cue ball.
That's right. It's not been stopping anywhere near the middle of the table. I think yesterday was worse, to be fair. He was travelling really close to the middle. But once again, no shot on the one.
It looked to me, too, it appeared that he's still trying to overhit the break. I mean, we've seen Francisco and even more notably Tony Drago when we see his break. Not breaking near as hard as he's capable of, but he was slotting in 3 balls off virtually every break.
Yeah, it's a good point. The wing ball tends to be going down even with a soft break. And I'm surprised by now that he's not maybe changed, tried something different. There's no attacking shot here. Not unless he chooses to bank the ball. And he's played it safe. And a good one at that.
I had breakfast with his manager, Robert, this morning, and Robert said that he felt that he had put Kuo under pressure being in the front row, and that he thought he might take a miss on being front and center here for this match. Maybe watch it on one of the monitors. But he is front row, Robert. So I wonder if that superstitious little side thought didn't go begging. No shot here for Kuo either. Still containment.
He's just checking the middle pocket there. I think he had a look, see whether he maybe banked the one.
Yeah, it does have an option of a bank.
And it's safe at the same time if he wants to try and draw the cue ball back slightly. Leave some distance possibly. But for me, it looks like it's possibly the safe. Off the edge of the one, down table. Yet behind the 9 ball here. If it, well, it's a miss hit, is that? He didn't intend that. So an early mistake from Kuo.
He never really has got into a rhythm in this event. He is capable of so much. We've seen it in the World Championships. Beaten finalist this year, beaten semi-finalist the year previous when Alex Pagulayan won it. And I can tell you it won't take long for Tony Drago to go through these colors.
This is just the start that Tony was looking for. An early mistake from Kuo. We know Tony can thunder through these balls.
He's just the wrong side of the 4 here.
If he can keep this rack going, his break next.
Boy, retrieved position beautifully there, made it look easy. Killing the speed of the cue ball with a drag shot, slow bottom, holding for the 6 into the top left corner.
Just punches it through, leaves himself an angle on the brown 7, and it's brown 7 and the 9 in the same corner. Good start from Tony, this.
Just like that, the tornado starts to blow here in Warsaw. 1-0, he's taken the opening rack against Kuo's break. 10 to be played, and Tony out of the gate. Our head referee, Michaela Tab, securing the colors. Very diverse crowd attending the event here in Warsaw. We've seen very young, enthusiastic kids come out and watch the matches. Oh, Tony very unlucky. That cue ball's tracking near that side pocket, and in the end got kicked in. Turned it right back over to Kuo, and Drago was breaking so well in his first 2 matches. Not the sort of effort he wanted to put forward after taking the first rack.
No, that's right. And this morning he was saying if he could just break like he did that first match yesterday, he knew he'd got a great chance. Just lost the cue ball slightly. It's early days. But Kuo's got an open table here. No obvious problems.
I think the magic number for both of these players is for all 6 contending the Whirlpool League event is 3. They want to get to that 3 wins. And they feel quite secure that 3 wins will gain them a spot in the semifinals. The top 4 go through. And in the end, it could end up being racks won and lost to determine who those 4 might be. But you don't want to have to leave it that late.
Well, he's overrun that ball. Just not comfortable at the moment. Bad safety in the first rack. And luckily he has a shot into the corner. Can just run this cue ball through. But he's not settled yet.
No, that certainly wasn't the intended pocket for the 8, but gratefully accepted. Kuo Cheng slots his first rack on his side of the scoreboard, 1-1. And he just pinched the break right back to get back on serve. 10 racks to play, 1-1 the score here in Warsaw. Kuo with an impressive bio, beaten finalist in the World Championships. He's been one of the rock-solid players in Chinese Taipei for a few years, but has yet to really show any form, any success really,
Could you please
outside
turn
of
all mobile
Chinese
phones
Taipei.
off?
This is his first opportunity,
Rack
and you
3,
know he
Kuo
wants to
break,
make it a
1
good
rack
impression.
each.
The break in rack number 3. And a much better cue ball. Unlucky that it was kicked away from the center. He would have had a shot at the 1, but still, positive signs for Kuo.
Yeah, once again, hit them very hard, but it was productive. And as you say, he was kicked there by the brown 7. Otherwise, he would have had a shot at the 1. So a much better break.
And in fairness, Andy, the players can never legislate for that. All they try and do is park Whitey right in the middle of the table. Usually affords them a clear look at the lowest color still remaining. But if it gets kicked either away from position or into a pocket, that's just a pill they have to swallow as they go back to their chair.
So look at the draw. All you can do is control the cue ball. Has he played the bank here, or is it a safe? Well, I think he's played the bank, but once again, underweight. Tony will be loving this.
Yeah, Kuo just doesn't seem to be able to get the measure of any aspect of his game. Oh, he's going to get a let off here. A real mishit from Drago there. And the safety that Kuo couldn't play, Drago played on himself. Mind you, how quickly it can turn. How about that for an escape?
That is a result. Careless shot, the previous shot. But he's back in position. Orange 5, green 6 other end of the table.
Just takes a moment because he knows that 9 ball is in the path, the natural path the cue ball would take, so he's got to pull away from it. Leave himself the longer 6, but coming from a snooker background, you don't expect Tony Drago to miss anything in the open.
No, he played that well. Drifts out from the bottom onto the side rail. Leaves himself a nice angle on the brown 7. Takes it into the corner. May even play a trait well. He spun it round 2 rails. He had options there. It's a good shot and he's on the 9.
But he's starting to show signs that he's thinking like a pool player. 9 deposited. Drago back on song. 2-1 in front of Kuo. And with the break in rack number 4. And how quickly it can turn around. Lady Luck plays a major role in 9 ball. And you just saw an example and the sportsmanship displayed by one of the most likable players on tour. He lives on the edge with his pool game, does Drago. the fastest snooker player in the world. Of that, there is no doubt. And he may well lay claim to that title in the world of 9-ball, too. But he loves this game,
Rack
Andy.
4,
I've spent a lot of
Drago
time
to
with
break,
Tony.
leading by
He
2
just
racks to
loves the
1.
way this game unfolds, and he feels that his game is better suited to 9-ball than it is snooker.
Yes, he's passionate about the 9-ball. And that break he just made there, that's what he's been looking for. Hit them well, ball straight down, and he's on the 1. He was saying that yesterday, felt he broke well, but he wasn't getting the results. He wasn't getting onto the 1 ball. And this is a great chance. 3-4, or should I say 3-4 onto the side rail. And that was the key shot.
Yeah, I don't know if he wanted to be straight on this 4, though, because that 5 may not pass the 9 to the bottom right corner. And if it doesn't, and Tony's having a good look, well, it looks like he's got a lower half of the pocket. But that's all. He's had to draw back to play it to the center. Beautifully controlled cue ball. Made his work a little trickier, though. But he's going through it in the sort of fashion that we've come to recognize and enjoy from Drago.
He's picking up pace here. Always a sign of confidence with Tony. And he's on the 8. And this is just the start he was looking for. If that break keeps going, takes his chances, he's got a great chance of winning.
Tony Drago himself, a beaten semi-finalist in the World Pool Championships, displaying a little of what he is capable of. 3-1 the lead now over Kuo Cheng. Drago starting to motor on. Kuo with the break in rack number 5, trailing 3-1. Seems like this is familiar territory for the 27-year-old
Rack
Taiwanese
5,
star.
Kuo to break, trailing by 3 racks to 1.
He has not been anywhere near his best in his first 2 matches, and he's given us nothing with which to assume that he's going to find form here either.
And watch that cue ball. Perilously close to the corner pocket. He's just not controlling that ball at the break.
He's a real competitor, though. He was not happy with his performance after the first 2 matches, and he was quick to let his manager Robert know about it. But he'd be happy at that break. Knocked 3 balls down. And what's more is he's given himself a good chance to clear up and pull 1 back.
Yeah, it's 3 ball to 4 ball here. It's the only real work. It's just not perfect once again. You fancy him for this in the corner.
You get the feeling with Kuo, though, that if he ever could get a win or 2 under his belt, that he might start loosening up a little bit. I have to admit, Andy, that very quietly, he was one of the ones that I picked for the title. That was before he got out of the gate 0-2.
Well, so did I. I just feel if he can get through to the semi-finals, the direct knockout stages, I think he can go up a couple of gears. But he's got to get there first. And he desperately needs a win here.
Yeah, if he loses his first 3 matches with 2 to play, he would need help, and that's what he's trying to stave off. The jewel in the crown for Tony Drago as far as 9-ball is concerned. And he is looking to make a mark and head over to American soil to hone his skills. Playing some tour events over there, Andy.
Rack 6, Drago to break.
He was talking about it
by
last
3
night.
racks to 2.
He does, he really loves this game. And that was a great break once again. That's what he's looking for. If he can hold the cue ball in the middle of the table like that, he's got the measure of the wing ball.
From the 2 to the 3 will be the key. As you see the break again, beautifully controlled cue ball. And Tony has already measured things up. So he'll know the angle he wants to leave himself from the 2 to get to the 3. This is the big shot right here.
Yeah, this isn't easy. Needs to be precise. Needs to slide a... He slid a touch. That's a great shot. That was a great shot. Only had a small area he could land in there. And he's looking good here. Picked up the pace, looking confident.
Tony Drago in this sort of mood is a handful for anybody in the world.
Just looking at the 6 ball here. Needs to make sure he gets a good angle to get back for the brown 7.
He took a battering in his last match, 9-1, the hands of Francisco Bustamante. Didn't really have a lot to say about that match, and admittedly so. Just never really got going, never got a chance to. But it also put him under a little bit of pressure with only 1 rack win out of 10 played.
As he said, he only had a couple of chances in that match, a couple of jump shots that went wrong. Didn't do a lot wrong, nothing too negative. He's 8 in the middle for the 9, and this is a great performance from Tony Drago.
9 to positive yet again, a familiar pocket for Drago. 4-2, the lead he enjoys over Kuo Cheng. The maestro from Malta. Nearing his 40th birthday is Drago. And
Rack
has set his
7,
sights in the
Kuo
world
to
of
break,
9-ball.
trailing by 4 racks to 2.
Kuo Cheng, runner-up in the World Championships. Lost the cue ball on that break. But it's been fairly kind to him. He's got a shot at the 1.
I just wonder, Jim, whether he's starting to get a little bit frustrated here.
I sensed a little aggression in that break.
Very difficult to read. The Chinese players, the Taipei, not much emotion shown, but he's got to be fed up with this. He's breaking, he knows how to park the white. Probably does it 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 in practice. He's just losing it every time he strikes it.
Real telltale shot here, Andy.
Good shot.
Oh, he's
But
not
can
been
he see the
lucky.
3?
See, I thought he would slow roll that. I thought he'd stay still, try and feather that in, and just get past the 4 instead of thumping it in and cannoning into the 4. I have to say, it was still a good shot and a trifle unlucky. But when things don't go your way in 9-ball, when you start struggling, the balls tend to punish you.
Absolutely. And he's got problems here.
And 4-2, the scoreline, issues another warning. You can ill afford to see Drago notch up his 5th rack win. That would mean that the best Kuo could get was a 5-5 draw and only 1 point, desperately needing 2.
To be fair, he needs the 2, yeah. 1 point's no good to him here at the moment. And it's not just that, he needs to pick up his form. He's left it.
Precious little has gone right for Kuo. It has not been the sort of trip with which fond memories are going to be built.
Just needs to take this 5 into the corner. 6 to 7. The key. Good shape on the 7. Will make the 8 easy. And I feel like saying slow down, Tony, but you can't with Tony. He plays his best pull when he plays at pace. He's trying it left-handed now.
Don't see this very often.
It'll do.
Practices with a few of your mates, Andy, back in London. Imran Majid and Raj Hundal.
He does.
9 down. Drago secures at least 1 point from this match with Kuo. 5-2 he leads, and he will have the break in rack number 8 with a chance to get the maximum. And look who awaits. on the practice table. He'll be next up on center stage up against the Hungarian champion Vilmos Foldes, the in-form holder of this title. But our focus remains really with a big question mark. When and if will the real Kuo Cheng
Rack 8,
materialize?
Drago to break, leading by 5 racks to 2.
What a rack this is for Tony. Already assured of the point, but if he can win this rack, he's got the 2. You can see the 1 ball, not perfect on it, but he's a great shot maker. Yeah, he's played that well.
It's so easy to be fooled when you watch a player like Drago. I mean, so few players can play at the speed with which he goes around the table. But he tends to make the game look like it's almost too easy.
Yeah, he does at times. It's just that rare miss he throws in now and again that makes you realise he's human.
But if you watch his stroke, Andy, this really is the feature to his success. It's so compact. He doesn't draw that cue back very far. It's like a piston-like action.
Yeah, straight through the ball, no movement. Punches the ball in.
Top left corner. And he'll pull the cue ball to the right-hand side of the table.
Hits it well. Yes.
And there, the clenched fist. We've seen it from other players. And that, always a sign, it's mission accomplished. 6-2, Tony Drago has secured 2 points and a sigh of relief from the Tornado. And once again, Kuo Cheng finds himself in familiar territory. Another match and another loss. 3 played, and he is yet to win one. You've got to wonder whether or not the white towel has been tossed in. Certainly, he's got to be frustrated with this performance. He is capable of so much more.
Well, he's coming to the table to break.
Kuo to break, trailing by 6 racks.
He knows the match is over as far as the points go, but he's just got to try and go up a couple of gears here. And once again, a thunderous break. But he's on the 1.
And he doesn't have an easy positional shot to the 2 from this one, Andy. Cue ball kicked. A couple bad safety shots early in this match allowed Drago the chance to alleviate the pressure somewhat. That was a good shot from Kuo.
I think the telling shot was one of the earlier games when he tried to play safe on the 1 and double kiss the 1. It was a really bad shot for a player of his class.
But even the shot where he was playing safe and put the 1 right over the corner pocket, I think that was in the second rack. Just another real bad mishit from a player that you just don't expect errors of that nature.
And it must have given Tony so much confidence. If he can string a few together, win his break games, that's all he can do.
But the best he can do now is 2 wins out of 5, so he is going to need some help. And there does come a stage in this event when players start taking note not only of their results, but they're affected by other matches as well. The round-robin format, everybody plays everybody, and the top 4 advance. In the event of ties, you go to racks won and lost to determine those ties. (6-3) following this 9. And that's your score line here in Warsaw. Kuo will go back to his seat and await the break of Tony Drago to see if he gets a chance to take another rack. Robert, Kuo Cheng's interpreter and
Final
road
rack.
manager,
Ready to break, leading by 6 racks to
cannot be thrilled with what he's seen here from his man. And I said earlier, I didn't think he would be sitting in the front row. He thought that that was putting a lot of pressure on Kuo. I'm quite surprised after having breakfast with him this morning. I thought he may be watching it via one of the monitors outside the tournament office. Not so. And guess what, Robert? You've got the same result. Well, Tony could have pushed
foul.
and elected to try and kick at that one. Do you think the scoreline dictated that effort?
Just a little bit, yeah. Most definitely. He'd have definitely played a push normally there. But he'll be so relieved to be over the line in this match.
A little bit of carelessness from Drago, though. Obviously not taking note of the format in this event. And he's played in it before. Kuo Cheng, Vilmos Foldes, Torsten Homan, all making their debuts in the Whirlpool League. And if Tony Drago ever loses his place in the semifinals by 1 rack, I wonder if he'll look back at this shot.
Yes, it could be back to haunt him. Let's hope not.
Nice angle on the 5 to steer that cue ball up towards the 6.
And he's overrun that once again. Just not got the measure of the cue ball.
Well, I'm surprised even at the way he played that, why he didn't just play bottom and feather it off that right-hand cushion. The 6 was near a corner pocket. He didn't need to take any chances with position.
Can top the 6 ball through, down for the 9. Well, that was more difficult than it needed to be.
And this 9 for a 6 in favor of Drago. He took the last 2 to get to 6-4, so a little bit of confidence possibly reestablished for Kuo Cheng, but it's a win for Tony Drago, and he moves to 2-1. 2 wins, 1 loss with 3 played. Some terrific pool. He stands at 1 win, 1 loss, and what a beautiful match this would be to walk away with a win from.
It really would. He needs absolute A game here, though. Needs to take every chance. And that's a great start.
Is it ever? Slots a couple balls in on the break, 3 in fact. And what's more, just look at how they land for him. Perfect position on the 2.
Just looking at the 3 ball there. Blue 2 down for red 3. I wonder whether the combination was on, but he's looking the opposite side.
Yes, it looks like that 3 passes the 9 into the bottom corner pocket, bottom right as we look. And the way that Vilmos has played that, it certainly does. Little overrun for ideal position, though. A little trickier 3 than he would have liked in early days, so you know the nerves are going to play a little bit of a role. Got to stay very still on this.
Saving grace, just needs to run through. Nothing to do with the cue ball. But he's hit it well. So no early sign of nerves.
Watching Vilmos on the practice table, what I really like about this young man is he's easy to smile. Quick to enjoy himself, doesn't put any pressure, any added pressure on himself playing pool. He understands that sometimes, some days are just not meant to be. And he accepts that. And I think that's the key to success in any sport, not putting pressure on yourself. Watched Foldes take out Alex Pagulayan in the World Championships in Kaohsiung this summer. Played a terrific match.
This is a great start. Long 8 ball into the corner. Can either run straight through, which he's chosen to do, or he could have stunned across there if he had an angle. But this is a tremendous start.
Dream start really for the former World Junior Champion. Takes the opening rack of 10 scheduled here in Warsaw. It'll be Bustamante to break in rack number 2. Francisco off to a dream start, trying to defend the title that he won here last year. He's played 2 and won 2, and in convincing fashion, none more so than his 9-1 drubbing of Tony Drago.
Rack 2, Francisco Bustamante
He
to
has
break.
easily
Trailing 1 rack
been
to
the
0.
informed player that we've seen in the early going of this year's event. But here we go, rack number 2. Drawing that cue ball. Don't think he intended the 1 to go in. Usually when he draws the cue ball like that, Andy, he wants to bring the 1 with him.
That's right. When he made the 1 in the middle, I think he was sure to get the wing ball. That was his thought. And quite often in these matches, the previous matches, that the 1 ball has gone high up the table.
I just noticed there too where the balls were racked, and the 2 was right behind 1. This is a tough shot to start with. Didn't try to do anything special. Left himself the bank shot on the 3.
That was a great 2 ball. Elevated the back of the cue. Always makes it more difficult. You've got to strike absolute centre ball, or you spin off line. Couldn't afford to do anything with the cue ball there. Settled for the stop shot. And he's playing the bank.
Made it look like it was a hanger. One of the best in the world at bank pool. And he just showed you how easy he can make this game look. 6, 7, and 9 at his mercy. And Django looks like getting off the mark here against Foldez.
So far, it's a perfect score. 1 visit apiece.
We've played 7 matches in this year's event, and we have yet to see a draw. No 5-5 score lines. And if these 2 champions keep volleying back and forth like this, you may see your first. No mistakes yet. 2. He's won the first 2 that he's played. Vilmos 1 and 1.
Rack 3, Vilmos Foldez to break.
So this would be a big win for him. These players trying as hard as they can to get to 3. That should put them into the safety zone as far as qualifying for the semifinals. Now he's got a chance here at a 3-ball combination. Made that wing ball, but the 1-3-8 looks set.
Great control of the cue ball once again at the break. I think he's sure to take the 3-ball combination on.
The only problem here, Andy, is maintaining position to the 1 should he get the 8.
I think if he plays this, the 1 will be stunning off probably to the left-hand side. If he chooses to either run through or stun the cue ball. There you are. Off to the left, leaves him a shot on the other corner. Very well struck.
And in a bit of a hurry, depositing the 3 as well. Makes his work a little easier.
It's an open table, no obstacles.
Obviously, intimidation doesn't look to have been a factor in this match. 20 years of age, guaranteed that Foldez will have grown up inspired by players like Bustamante. And here, opposing him on center stage.
6-ball down the rail. Back out for the 7. He's playing well here. Held his nerve well. His opponent's been on fire in this match, in this tournament, should I say.
And Foldez, a la Tony Drago, wasting little time. Going through this rack like a hot knife through butter. 9 down. The 2003 World Junior Champion, 2-1 in front of the former world number 1. But it'll be Bustamante with the break in rack 4. And an impressive bio for the 20-year-old Hungarian star. The 2003 world title, obviously the pinnacle of his career so far, but so much to come. He's got the pool world at his feet. And how nice the 888.com World Pool League Championship would look there. But the man that he's got to get by here and now. The former world #1 Filipino legend moved back to the Philippines just to play in more events. He was residing in Germany and playing in the European Tour for a number of years.
Rack
Decided
4,
to head back
Francisco
home.
Bustamante to break. Trailing 1 rack to 2.
And the break in rack 4. Francisco 2-1 behind Vilmos. And a pretty good break from Bustamante, but it's not left him the easiest of shots. A possible 2-5 combination, but a soft break from one of the guys that can hit it harder than anybody on the planet when he needs to.
Yeah, he's got this break down. Punches the ball. As you say, not too much pace, but he knows the wing's going in. And he's been fairly unlucky there. Possible combination, as you say. But that 7 ball just makes his pocket that bit tighter. And he's punched it in. Is he on the 2?
Off the 2 passes the 4 into the top left, and it looks like it will. Francisco will just want to try and hold for position on that side of the table for the 4 to the same pocket. Not easy.
Now the natural angle taking him away from the 4 ball. Can he hold the cue ball if he drops this in? He's just checking now the angle.
Could play a menacing safety here and roll that cue ball up behind the 8 if he so chooses.
And that's what he's chosen to do. And I think you might find he'll be glued to this 8. That's what he's looking for. Look at that.
Yeah, look up ugly in the dictionary, and you might get a picture of what's welcoming Vilmos Fuldez to the pool table here.
So that's the first safe in this match. And what a safety it is.
And Francisco knew that it was going to be a good aggressive safety, sorry. Otherwise, he would have gone after that too because it was available.
Absolutely. This is a terrible shot to be having to play at this stage in a match. Even if you hit the 2, how do you get safe?
Yeah, I mean, the hit here, you'd have to get the slide rule out to figure out the angles to get to this. And right now, I think he's looking at a 3-cushion escape. He's got to miss the 9. And that bottom side pocket as we look. Certainly you can't be looking at a 1-cushion escape. The long angle, just the left top cushion straight into the 2 because he'd be bridging right over the 8. And that, well, that's fraught with danger. Now possible 3-cushion escape the other way.
Needs a lot of pace on this. Well, look at that for a shot. What a shot that was.
Didn't even think it was available. I thought the 6 took the 2-cushion escape away, Andy.
So did I. So did I. That was a great shot.
Just a smattering of applause, but I'll tell you what, I think he'll take that effort in a New York minute. Watch this. Flicks the 2, and he hasn't left Bustamante the easiest of shots.
Is he going to catch the 4?
He has, but not ideally. And that, again, you can attribute to the escape from Fuldez. With cue ball in hand, it would have been elementary for Francisco to play from the 2 to the 4. But leaving that long 2, very tricky for the start. You won't see him attack the combination. Too much distance between the 4 and the 8.
That's right. Look at the cue ball. Very close to the middle pocket. So is it a safety he looks at here?
Nothing easy about the safety here, too.
At best, he can leave distance between the 2 balls, the cue ball and the 4 ball.
You know something, Andy? He's having a look at the combination. And the only reason he would even consider this is because there's just no easy safety. Attack the 8. And he's left Fuldez with a chance into the bottom right corner on this 4. So the first mistake materializes in rack number 4, and a chance for Fuldez to go into a 3-1 lead if he can secure the remaining 5 colors here.
this brown 7 could help him with his shot. Well, he's played that plumb. Centre of the pocket. And he's landed well on the 6. So that great safety earlier in this rack. We thought he was dead and buried.
How important it was, the hit on that 2 now. Just a brilliant escape. He's got a mature head on young shoulders, does Foldez, just 20 years of age. And he's gaining a wealth of experience. He's already played in Canada, believe it or not, played in the World Junior Championships 3 years ago in Canada. He recently competed in the US Open, so he's starting to put some air miles in under his belt, and it's going to turn him into a much better player. 3-1 in front now, Francisco Bustamante. Vilmos Foldez swipes the break, and he will be coming back with the break in rack 5. Vilmos Foldez with yet another perfect break, and the only problem ball, the red 3.
That was a great kick there on the 1 ball. Pushing it over the corner pocket. Just watch this break. Once again, the 1-up table, but this 2 kicks it right over the corner. As you say, it's the red 3 ball the problem here. But no problem 1 to 2.
Well, that's what he's looking at right now. The angle he wants to leave himself on the blue 2 to attack that red 3. And there's only one area of the table that he can get to be able to play that 3, and he's standing over to it now. This would be a real telling visit. Well, he must be banking this 2, Andy. Surprised.
I don't know if he mishit that, to be fair. There is an angle banking this ball. Take the cue ball off the side rail and come back out, but it's a big ask. You'd always prefer to play a direct pocket than a rail first shot.
Well, one thing about it, though, the natural path of the cue ball will be tracking to drop right in behind that 3, and he could play this with an element of safety in mind.
Yes, if he plays the bank at the right pace and doesn't make it, he's a good chance of leaving the 2 ball on the bottom rail and the object ball up table. That's a good shot. Just watch this cue ball.
Well, you can see that he would have had cover had that 1 not gone in, the speed that he played it. But it's going to be a difficult 3 to the top left corner. He hasn't put a foot wrong yet in this match. And
That's a great
he
shot.
still hasn't.
Nerves of steel there.
Talented young player. Very quiet, unassuming.
Looking at a possible 4-1 lead in this match. Who would have thought that on Bustamante's previous form? But he's played so well.
Well, this will be some kind of finish, this rack, because there was nothing easy about this.
It was that tremendous 3 ball into the corner for me. Banked the 2. It took a very tough 3. Knew if he missed it, gave the rack up.
Andy, for me, I still hearken back to that great escape on the 2. I think that was the one that really set things in motion for Foldez. Kept him on song. And looking at this 9 for a 4-1 lead over Francisco Bustamante.
Just needs to steady himself here. He's done all the hard work.
Down it goes. 4-1 the lead, enjoyed now by Vilmos Foldez. Francisco will have the break in rack 6, but Foldez looking like a machine out there. Francisco Bustamante knows that if he's to secure 2 points in this match, there are 5 racks to be played, and he needs to win every one of them.
Rack 6.
A very tall order given the alternating break format employed in the World Pool League format. But if anybody's capable of it, it's Django. But he's going to need a little bit of help, and I don't think the balls are listening.
Once again, great break. Unfortunately, the cue ball kicked down table, and for a second it looked like it was coming back out again. But can it pass the 2 ball? It looks like he's hooked to me. There you see it. Maybe catch the edge of the 1, but certainly no attacking option.
Taking a lot of time. He'd love to have gotten his 3rd win early and taken the pressure off. 3 wins virtually secures a spot in the semifinals. The only other player that is yet to taste defeat, Torsten Homan. Convincing wins over Vilmos Foldes, as well as Kopo Cheng. But Bustamante right now living in the moment, and he will not want to see that cue ball go into the corner.
Well,
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
without the cue ball in the pocket, it was a great safety. Made use of the brown 7. Got the one where he wanted it, but that cue ball just kept running.
And even had it flicked the 5, it might have stayed on the table, but no joy whatsoever for Bustamante. And a glorious opportunity has just presented itself for Foldes to secure at least a draw.
He just needs this 2 ball to the 4. He doesn't want to be straight. I think he might be. Can still leave himself a shot with a slight angle there. This would have been so much easier. Could have forced this ball through. Right-hand side on the cue ball. Off the side and bottom rail, and he's back out for the 4.
Very noticeable there too. His cueing action straight through that white ball. He's got a terrific technique. When you've got the mental makeup and you've got the fundamentals down pat, that's always a formula for success in any cue sport.
Well, so far this has been faultless. A great performance. And if he's got any nerves, he's not showing them.
Another bonus to winning a match like this is, should both players progress to the semifinals, you've kind of got that psychological advantage if when you do meet again. So this would be one that Foldes will certainly be able to build on. And looking at the 9, for no worse than a draw. 1 point in the bank for Vilmos, 5-1. And you can tell there's a very partisan group of Hungarians that have made their way here to Warsaw to cheer their champ on. 5-1 over Bustamante. Vilmos Foldez in the catbird seat in this match. Knows that one more rack win and he will secure the maximum 2 points. Allocated the winner of a match, and he's got a chance
Rack
to
7.
secure it right here and
Vilmos
now
Foldez
with
to
the break.
Leading 5 racks to 1.
And the beautiful thing about that is he knows he's got a couple more breaks, even should he fail here. Rack number 7. 2 balls down, and everything there for the taking.
That cue ball there just stopped dead. Great sign, it's cueing well, confident. And he'd dearly love to get this match over with at this visit. As you say, a couple of breaks left. But he doesn't want to let Bustamante back in here.
And what's even more ominous is a sound thumping in this match would really put Foldez into a very favorable position to progress to the semifinals. Because even if it ends up being a tie, in terms of match wins, it goes to racks won and lost. You start looking at a very one-sided victory, especially over a player like Bustamante, who has already dished out a couple one-sided thumpings over players. Well, that really puts Foldez into a good spot. Still got a ways to go. First order of business is to clear these colors.
Doesn't want to catch the 9. Just check that cue ball up there. Would have liked to have missed that 9 ball. But I think he's got a thin cut here. Well, he certainly has got a thin cut. Just means that the cue ball's travelling that bit further than he wanted. But it shouldn't pose any real problems for him.
Just knows the cue ball is going to be traveling a bit. So he's got to weigh up the angles, the path he wants that white to take. And thin cutting the 6 into the corner pocket.
That was well judged.
Yeah, controlled the cue ball very nicely there. Killed the speed with a lot of bottom.
Well, for me, he couldn't have played any better here. This must be his top A game. If he keeps this up, what potential.
I saw him play like this in Kaohsiung in the World Championships earlier in the year. Got to the last 16 of that event. And he started to show the promise of an emerging star.
He just looks so calm out there. No emotion. Same pace around the table.
But
He's in stroke.
Watch the way that cue goes right through on the intended line. That's what I look for, is I look for the sound technique. The mental makeup and experience will come.
Always tougher under the rail. But the way he's been playing, there it is.
And the 2 points secured. 6-1 the score. A surprising scoreline to be fair. But it's Vilmos Foldez dictating proceedings here in Warsaw. Secure a few more rack wins. These two will share identical match scorelines, both with 2 wins and 1 loss.
Train 6 racks to 1.
So Bustamante desperately trying to get a couple more wins under his belt in terms of racks, because the match has been lost.
Noticeable there that he changed sides for this break. We often see that in a match when somebody's no longer got the chance of points. They tend to change sides, try and play a bit harder, break softer. Just try and learn something on the table for future reference.
The luck hasn't changed though, Andy.
No. Once again, no sight of the 1 ball.
He can flick the edge of that one. The other option to push out. But this has not been the type of match that
Push out
Bustamante was hoping to see against Foldez.
And in pushing out there, he's tried to push the 3. Safe.
He's made quite a mess with the colors at the bottom end. The 2, 3, 9, and 6 clustered together. all available, but it's about cue ball control.
That's a superb shot.
You hear the fans, some applauding, some snapping their fingers, which is Polish for applause. We saw that at one of the clubs. We were touring the other night here in Warsaw. Francisco Bustamante, Kuo, Cheng, and Tony Drago being ushered around to play a few of the locals. And Bustamante was the star of the night. They all wanted to see and meet the great man.
Well, very good escape there. No simple one ball, but he has a shot at it.
And a good chance that Vilmos Foldes will be take anything on right now. Why not? He's already secured the match win. So anything in the open is certainly going to be tempting him. Terrific one. It's going to be an even better two, given where that cue ball has come to rest.
Yeah, he was willing the cue ball on there. As it came towards that rail. Could have bounced out a couple of inches. Would have been so much easier. And it's a positional aspect of this shot that's difficult.
Very little angle. He knows all he can do is try and hold the cue ball. But this is a difficult pot. Oh, what a shot. Pinched the pocket from tight against that cushion. Took the white into the 9. And all of a sudden, with one great effort, they've opened like a flower for Foldes.
Takes a simple 3 into the corner. Back up for the pink 4. All the balls are open.
Every mistake, and I think it's fair to say that there have been very few mistakes from Francisco, but every little advantage that has befallen Foldes, he has put, well, he's put pay to every one. From
Like
half a chance, Andy, he's manufactured wins.
Played great safety. He's not missed a ball yet, for my recollection. He just looks so comfortable. What a win this is for him.
And it's getting more impressive with each visit.
He's free stroking.
A 7-1 scoreline. And a very just scoreline, to be fair. Vilmos Foldes has been in awesome form in this match. 7-1 over Francisco Bustamante with 2 to play. And even his own chef couldn't help him in this match. That's Faye. She's been cooking for Francisco here. She's actually Poland's number 2 10-pin bowler, would you believe? She'll be competing next month in Slovenia in the AMF World Championships. And Dee, just to her right. They came out to try and pull their champion over the finish line. Well, not today, unfortunately, Faye. The man of the moment is the man at the table, Vilmos Foldes.
Once again, ball down at the break, but there's no open one ball. Looking at safety here. The 3 blocks the bank shot. Doesn't want to collide with that 4. If he missed the 4 there, he'd have been down on the bottom rail.
It's going to be very disheartening, though, for Bustamante, knowing the best scoreline he can achieve now is a 7-3 loss. Yuck. But every one of those racks could come into play. He knows he's won his first 2 matches, so No reason to hang his head yet.
Is he going to play the bank?
There's your answer. Straight into the corner pocket. The best defense, a good offense.
He just never seems to miss them, does he? Now his problem could be the pink 4-ball. Just depends whether he can get to it. Very close to the green 6.
Looking to play the 3 bottom right. And I'm not sure the angle allows him to get the cue ball back towards the middle of the table to attack that 4, as you've already noted. I think it's only available from the top side as we look, so he's going to have to smash this in.
Just watch this cue ball.
Now, has he gotten far enough over? Very close. He's queuing up as though he is. Well, this is close.
The spin will throw this ball in. Yeah, that's what he did. Wasn't a clear path. Caught the 4-ball and just spun it in. Hit it well.
Referee Nigel Reese was all over that one. Just cheating the pocket there for the 9 to the same corner. Good effort from Bustamante. And the 9 will get him to 2. And he knows he's got the break in rack number 10. So at least he can put a few racks on his side of the scoreboard. It's 7-2 in favor of Vilmos Foldez. Terrific bank shot. Laid the foundation for Francisco to compete and clear up there. But it's been a tough go right from the outset. It's been all one-way traffic in favor of Foldez in this match. And his game, as Bustamante is, he's had little reply for the onslaught that has been sent his way by the 20-year-old star from Hungary.
Final rack, Francisco Bustamante to break. A train 2 racks to 7.
He'll be happy to get this one out of the way, but he'd like to finish it on a positive note. 7-2 in favor of Foldez. And a nice clear shot at the 1.
Cluster of balls at this bottom end of the table. Didn't make the wing ball that time. It's the 5-ball down in the corner pocket that dropped.
And he had a wry smile because he knew this wasn't going to be easy. Possibility of a combination, or does this 2, well, it goes to the bottom right corner. There was a 2-4 on offer, but Francisco had the angle to get to the right-hand side of the table, and now one good positional shot to the 3, and it should be smooth waters.
Be drawing off the side rail here. Hit that very clean. Now it's just the pink 4 to the green 6. The difficulty in this rack.
Yeah, he'll just want to stay in the middle of the table, Andy, and that should afford the angle to drop from the 4 to the 6.
Little angle. Perfect. Just stun through the gap. There we are.
He's made full use of the opportunity here. A shame for Bustamante they didn't present themselves earlier. But once Vilmos had played himself into the comfort zone, the chance for Francisco to get his back arm moving finally materialized.
It's been a faultless performance from Foldez.
Very high quality match all around. I mean, Francisco will probably tell you he's won matches making more mistakes than he made in this. Few and far between. Nevertheless, the scoreline will read 7-3 in favor of Vilmos Foldez. A great victory for the former World Junior champion. And both records now, Foldez and Bustamante, 2 wins each with 1 loss.
So Foldez, who lost in a nervous opening performance, is marching towards the semi-finals on the back of 2 wins on the bounce. What a morale booster to beat the defending champion. And Vilmos Foldez leads Tony Drago on racks 1. That's why the Magic Magyar is in 3rd spot in the 888.com World Pool League.